Hello everyone and welcome back to Brickrigs. We're here in the city and this is probably not going to be that long, really. However, I am going to be showing not my own creations this time, which you may be interested to hear. But these are actually things that people have made with the things that I've made, and as you can see I've got a lot of downloads, but yes, I'm trying to just find the things that people have made here. So I'll just get out that, and basically, yeah, these are things that people have made with my things. Basically, they've given me credit for these things. So as you may remember, I made this motorbike with a sidecar. It's not the most stable thing, nor is it the most easy thing to drive. As you can see, it instantly falls over there, and it's not that easy to drive, quite frankly. But it was a two-wheeled design. Obviously, with the sidecar, it is slightly more stable, but yeah, uses the car engine, little car engine down there. It was designed to actually look like a motorbike, and also use the two wheels of a normal motorbike. As you can see, that hasn't quite gone to plan. But yeah, so that was the motorbike and sidecar that I made, and somebody actually made this thing, which is pretty cool. It's a sort of steampunky type motorbike, I guess. That's interesting. Alrighty then, that's a little bit strange. But yes, so the reason I showed you that motorbike is because somebody made this out of my motorbike with the sidecar, and they made this, which they call Steam Cycle 1 if you want to actually find it on the workshop. And basically, yeah, it's a steampunky type design. As you can see, it's got an electric motor rather than the petrol motor in the bottom, and that's just mounted in the sidecar in place of the seat. That is connected to a pipe which feeds into the engine and comes out of this, I suppose, excess steam outlet valve here. The rest of it is mostly unchanged, although as you saw, it's got this contraption on the front here, which is a horn, which has then got a couple of exhausts out the front of it there. The guy who made this has actually made this thing more stable. As you can see, it's got train wheels just mounted on little outriggers, which are just made of glass so that you can't see them as much, and it makes it obviously far more stable. It looks like I've used this a little bit just to see what it was like, because when I first saw it I was like, oh wow, someone's actually made something with my stuff, which I was of course very surprised about. But from the looks of it, this thing, pretty sluggish at first, but it gets up to a decent top speed. Ooh. Okay, that's a big explosion. But yeah, it's slightly more sluggish at first, but yeah, it's certainly interesting. As you can see, with the horn, which as you can see, it's still got all the same lights as well, just to show you there. I don't have any indicator lights on it, but yeah. As you can see, the horn, if you press 1, 2, 3 and 4, these normally do things, although in this case all they seem to do is just make more steam out the front. But anyway, still pretty cool. It's got an exhaust out the top of the engine thing there. It's got a speedometer, which I'm fairly certain I didn't put there. I don't remember putting a speedometer there. But yeah, some of the changes on this thing have been good to the design. For example, the train wheels mounted on just outriggers, slightly more explodable than my one due to the exposed electric motor there. But yeah, there's that. Then I'm sure all of you are aware that I run a line of 1930s race cars. However, I also have a basic chassis which I started using pretty early on because I didn't want to have to keep on deleting all of the designs from the chassis in order to make a new one. So I just made this chassis with the basic things that I would need to build a 1930s race car. So it's got the steering wheel here, it's got the exhaust here, and it's got the basic four-wheel chassis, which has got the struts which lead to the exposed wheels, and these are all just in white. It's got it's got the chrome on the bottom. It's got the seat mounted in the normal seat position that I mount it. And yeah, someone asked for me on one of my creations. Excuse me. Someone asked me, what does my basic race car chassis look like? And I was thinking for a while, why don't I upload this thing? And that was the thing which really did it. So I thought, you know what, I'll just upload it onto the workshop, and if people want to use it, then fine, people can use it. They've just got to give me the credit for actually having this design. And so I uploaded it, and nothing much got done with it, because of course it would mean people actually building things, which a lot of people don't play Brick Rigs to actually build things. They use it to play with other people's things that they built, which I do, but I'm of course building and playing with it. But yeah, so anyway, I uploaded this, and some guy by the name of actually Jason Voorhees has actually made some things with this, which I will show you here. So he's got 4 designs as of right now. He's got this one, which is number 98, which I have not seen any of these as of yet. But of course, this is now my first looks at these things, and it looks to be that he has kept the chassis the same, so everything is still in white. Looks like he has not used the steering wheel, nor has he used the exhaust, by the looks of it. But yeah, it's slightly more chunky than mine, by the looks of it. For example, if I get out a point of reference for my one, let me actually get out the first ever one that I built, which would be this one, the Silver Bullet. This was the first 1930s race car that I made, if you didn't know. And from the looks of it, not as chunky. Well, it's wider most certainly. Not as long, due to the fact that this thing's got the tail out the back. But yeah, it looks like it's suddenly wider, not quite as streamlined. But it's got an interesting chassis design. Okay, that's pretty darn quick. Oh, very slidey by the looks of it. Uses the same wheels. Okay, that's pretty slidey. Okay, that's pretty slidey. The engine design looks pretty interesting. It's got a V8 engine in there. It's got some ribs up top here, which very interesting actually. Not too bad look from the top at least. You can't miss the actual numbers of it. It's number 98, which is pretty self-explanatory. I just knocked off the wheel off of my Silver Bullet. Let me reset that. It's got a passenger seat. That handbrake isn't on. There we go. Yeah, so it's got a passenger seat by the looks of it. So you can have a 2-person race car. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Nothing much more that I can say on that one. Let me just remove that from there. Yeah, pretty cool. Let me just check. What's that engine set to? 1. So the gear ratio hasn't been changed. Which is interesting. Ooh, hello. This looks pretty interesting. Ooh, I like the use of the flags. I should probably use flags more often. I just never do. So yeah, this is number 17 by the looks of it. He hasn't updated the actual picture of it, but this is very much from the looks of it, it's a more fiery racer, I suppose you could say. Uses a lot of those kinds of colours. Let me get out an orangey type race car that I have. I don't actually know if I've built any orangey kind of race cars. I haven't used orange a lot. I suppose Trailblazer. I'll get out. So there's the Trailblazer versus this thing. Probably using the same engine. I doubt it's been limited in this one. Still got the ribs, still in black. Not too bad of a contrasting colour. It's got some oranges on here, some yellows. Number 17. It's got use of dark yellow, dark orange. It's got this orange Tristel, which I've always wanted to use, but I haven't actually found anything to use it on. It's got orange sort of wheels, so very much an orange kind of car. Not too bad, actually. I probably prefer this one to the other one, just because this uses a nicer contrast of colours, I think. Yeah, it's got sort of star... yeah, it's got sort of star flags on it. Not too bad. Again, the base chassis hasn't been changed in terms of colour. But ooh, yeah, definitely not a limited engine. Which is not a particularly bad thing. You can race these against each other, I suppose, for a point of reference. Mine are all obviously set to a 1.5 gear ratio to have the same across the board, so that the aero engines aren't being left in the dust compared to the V8s. But yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, yeah, pretty solid design. Yeah, not too shabby with that one. There is, of course, two more. We got this one, a nice blue and black one. Same sort of layout. I don't think those have been nailed down properly. That top is not looking quite correct, but you are more covered in this one. Yeah, it's got it's got nice dark blue and black contrasting colour, which I like. Ooh, the wheels use their hex colours, which are pretty cool. I've always liked the hex colour. Yeah, the only problem is, of course, this side isn't properly nailed down. I believe that's probably the same with the other side as well. Let's see if we can tip it off. We'll just spin around. I've just flipped my car. That hasn't done anything to me. Hey, there we go. There we go. So that's the sort of base layout, I suppose you could call it. Still with the ribs, of course, using that sort of black camo. I don't quite know what black camo that is. Pretty cool camo, nonetheless. I do quite like that. But yeah. So there's that one. Again, top isn't quite nailed down properly. I suppose the nearest point of reference for mine would be that one, the Shadow. Yes, there we go. So there's a point of reference between the two of these. Yeah, not much in it really. Slightly wider body for his one. Doesn't have the tail exhaust section. But yeah, nonetheless, pretty interesting. It's also got the blue sort of seats. He's kept the designs nice and consistent, which is nice. And the final one is this one, which is interesting. Black and red, number 45. Most interesting. Yeah, black front wheels, red rear wheels gives it an interesting. I think I can sort of see what he's gone for. He's gone for black at the front, transitioning to a red in the back, which is not too shabby. It's got a hex rear seat and a pure black front seat. Again with the ribs, exposed engine, consistent design, which is nice. Yeah, not too shabby. Again, non-limited engine. Okay, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going on the tracks with that one. Same problem with the exposed wheels as mine have, in terms of collisions. But then that's to be expected. Yeah, it's not too shabby. They're pretty interesting, these designs. Yeah, there's also one more which I haven't got, but it's basically a where's the point of reference with my one? Where someone has converted my steam train, this one, to be one of a more American style train, I suppose you could call it. Basically, they've added on a front square box at those American sort of trucking trains, I suppose you could call it. The you know, the ones which would sort of go through the great prairies of America, with like the cattle scoop on the front. You know, those sort of ones. They basically constructed one of them out of this, which is pretty cool. I haven't got it here. Not that we have a train track on this one, but yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, I was just sort of blown away by seeing these things. I thought for a moment there was a learner plate on this, but yeah. So these are just things that people have made with my stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and I'll just thank you all for watching, and goodbye.